you know, a lot of the things that they say in contact centers, oh well, AI is going to take away contact center agents' jobs, but we'll talk about that in a moment. The question really is, what can this type of AI technology do very well? We've been talking about all those pieces, but what can it not do very well? Where are the gaps still?
I think that there are always times when you're going to have to go and get an agent. And so if you're building a particular flow to say, hey, we're going to remove the need for people altogether, it's probably not going to work very well. There's always a time where there might be some creativity involved, where even if that contact center agent was following their script to a T and the flow chart was exactly right, even they might have to go and get a supervisor, get someone who can really make a judgment call on what should be done next. I think we'll need to continue to have that in the contact center, even if you're using contact center automation. Um, Another area might be where it could just be a very difficult conversation that might, like the example of the food poisoning. Like, the machine is not going to be able to say, well, just take $5 and go on your way. I think that sometimes you need to kind of have an apology from a person who's got a stomach and can actually give you a little bit of empathy about how bad it might be that your whole
Right.
your whole family is had a difficult day. So you know there are many challenges in the contact center. It's really hard to hire. It's really hard to retain. You're getting these really ridiculous call spikes. The goal of contact center automation is, how do you smooth out those spikes? How do you sort of flatten the curve into your contact center while still acknowledging that, hey, a number of those calls might need to be escalated, and that's fine. That's not a failure to contain the call. That's a great customer experience that you were able to provide to your callers even under overwhelming traffic.
Yeah. So, all right, there's various ways that Replicant can obviously help contact center agents. And we talked about some of those ways, lifting the burden of mundane tasks, making it so that they don't have all this work to do, so they can focus on the things that are more important, the more empathetic type of phone calls, the more complex type of engagements, which then also enables them to have a better employee experience, agent experience, and that correlates directly to customer experience improvements. And we know this. Talk about your perspective at Replicant on how you look at the real time interaction with agents. Should you or should you not be engaging in their current dialogue and presenting them with information like next best action, that kind of thing? What's your perspective?
Yeah, I think that to do agent assist really well, you kind of have to do everything that you would need to fully take the conversation. You've still got to transcribe, you've still got to do entity and intent recognition, you've still got to have a good model of the correct thing that should be done. And I think, if you're interested in agent assist technology, there are interesting experiments you can run. Take a really experienced agent and have them go whisper in the ear of an inexperienced agent. We've found that that might actually give people pause, and it's difficult to have these kind of multiple conversations going on in your head. And so what we've found is a better route is determine the kind of conversations that you would rather offload to the AI. Let those tier one conversations just be handled fully end to end by the machine, and then give that agent, even if they're a little bit less experienced, more training, get them on the level that they would need to provide like a greater experience in the service. And I think that's a better sort of split rather than trying to whisper in a new agent's ear.
Fair enough. That's it's good feedback. I would have to say that there's a lot of pros and cons between, do you give the sentiment to the agent of how they are? Do they sound angry, in real time, versus what is the customer? Do they sound happy? Right? It's all this information that, okay, maybe for the agent side, maybe it's excitement, not anger, the way that they sound, and perhaps it's distracting to the conversation and preventing them from actually doing the work, or maybe it's even to a degree browbeating the agent in a way which makes them actually leave sooner rather than they would have.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. Is the caller yelling because they're on the side of the road and they can't hear anything, or are they yelling because they're angry? We service a lot of trucking companies. Okay, the truckers use expletives on the call. Is that a problem? No, it's just how they speak. And so, you don't want to take these kind of false inputs and then, grade or rate an agent based on how they've done. Now, nothing wrong with agent assist as a technology, in theory. I think this just points out the difference between conversational AI, which might encapsulate, agent assist, and contact center automation, where you really are taking these calls and fully resolving them end to end with machine.